Hi, everyone. Welcome to my live. I've been thinking a lot about a time in my life when everything really felt flat. I would say it was before my divorce, which has been a little bit ago, but I was fully functioning. I was doing everything I needed to do with the kids, with the home, with my work, with family and friends, but there was this just flatness in my life, and I don't even know that I was aware of it. So in hindsight, I'm thinking, yeah, that was just a really unalive time. I was going through the motions. I was making sure everything was getting done, but I wasn't feeling much in terms of aliveness. And there was a lot of unhappiness in the marriage at that point. There was a lot of stress of getting everything done, and one kid off to college, one struggling at home. It just was a lot, and running a business. So there was this flatness, which I'm not even sure until later. Now I can look back and recognize how I was feeling because it was a little bit empty. There wasn't just that sparkle that I used to have in my life. Some unhappiness, not completely unhappy. I wouldn't say I was depressed, but just gray, a very gray feeling. And gray was not my personality, and I'm not going to say it was my age, definitely not my age. It was a reading from my body that I just didn't know how to read yet. I'm Jennifer Seven, and this is the Menopause Map. And I am so happy you're here today as we talk about this grayness that happens in our lives. This week has been all about our final floor in my 5 floor series. It's the joy floor, and it really tends to be the floor that women build last. We don't think of it as that relevant. The other floors are food and strength and stress and nervous system. And then there's sleep, pretty important. So those are, I don't know, they feel more tangible. And then there's this fifth floor called joy. And I think for women, we've always felt like joy is the thing that just happens last. It's at the end of the line. Once we get everything else done, everything is handled, then perhaps we can look at our joy. It's really an old story for women in particular. And if you recall, a few weeks ago, we talked about rest. And rest was another topic, another area that we tend to put last. We have to get everything done, and rest is always toward the end of the line. But I would say we put joy even beyond that. And joy and rest shouldn't be a reward. We shouldn't be saying, well, I'll do something for myself or I'll do something to make me happy once I get everything else done. The line just never ends. So it tends to be a trap. The rest can be a trap. The joy can be a trap because it's this reward that we never allow ourselves. It never comes. We have to be a little bit more intentional about it. We were handed this story that joy is what you get when everything else is handled. It waits at the back of the line, but the line never ends. So the reward never shows up. What I want you to start thinking about is joy, not treating it as a reward, but more as a barometer or a gauge. It's information. It's a reading on how much of your life is actually still reaching you and helping you to feel alive. When that needle drops, it's not a cue to try harder. It's a signal that something isn't coming back. And if we start paying attention to our bodies, we can begin to read this as data, the same as sleep, food, strength, and our nervous system. Our body is trying to tell us something. And So often we are very disconnected and we simply aren't listening, or in the flatness and the grayness, we've forgotten how to listen. Joy shouldn't be a decoration that's just on the surface of your life. It truly is information. It's a reading. It's that reading on how much of your own life is reaching you. And I really believe that joy is what helps you sustain the other four floors. So I like to think of it as a bucket. And if your bucket has a hole in it, or a vessel that's leaking, it's just draining out. And no matter what we're putting into it, it's just draining, draining, draining until it's empty. And if we're not refilling it, it becomes completely empty. It it's also a nervous system regulator. It's the joy is what allows us to keep refilling that vessel and then support the other floors that may have their own leaks. Without joy reaching you, none of it can hold, none of it is sustainable. I do want to mention that this is coaching only and this is not medical advice. This is simply education. And that if you really are feeling so depleted and so flat and feeling perhaps depressed, if this inner quiet has been going on for a long time, if you're feeling that nothing is reaching you, then that is definitely a time where a good doctor or therapist can help support you. This floor simply walks beside that care. It does not replace it. It's not meant to replace it. So joy is the prize for building the floors. I'm sorry, I'm going to rephrase that. Joy is not the prize for rebuilding the floors. It is part of what keeps them standing. So joy helps us keep those floors going, and it's never to be looked at as a prize. It should be looked at as simply part of your life that you should be paying attention to. Don't think of floor as this bucket list or a vacation you can't take. The bucket list meaning, oh, I'll do that someday. Someday I'll get there, or that vacation I want to take someday. We need to reframe that and look at joy as something that is in our life every day. One small joy that you can bring back in on purpose, intentionally, that's unearned. How do we do this? I recommend getting out a piece of paper or your journal and just taking 10 minutes of quiet time and write down, brainstorm, what are the things that make me happy in my life? Little things. Is it looking at the sunrise or the sunset? Is it getting a hug from my child or my spouse? Is it putting on my favorite music, closing the door to my office and dancing in my office to some powerful, fun music, listening to music? You don't have to get up and dance, just turn it on. Some kind of music that lifts the soul, that lifts your spirits. It could be taking a walk, getting outside with your dog in the fresh air. I find a lot of joy in my daily walks because I love nature, and I'm always looking in nature for the little things, the bunnies and the squirrels. My dog loves the squirrels and she still thinks she's going to catch one. It's not going to happen, but that gives her joy. She's chasing those squirrels. The deer, I am in such awe when I see animals in nature. The flowers, when they're popping up. We walk to the pond and we look for the turtles. These little things just lift me up, lift my heart and soul, fill my heart and my soul as well. So I want you to brainstorm. What are little things that you could easily do that could bring you joy? Maybe it's a bubble bath. Maybe you lock yourself in the bathroom and you're like, 30 minutes, I'm taking a bubble bath. I'm taking in a book, taking in a glass of wine. I'm going to put my music on and I'm going to enjoy that moment. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's going to the local bookstore, getting a magazine and taking 30 minutes for yourself. Get a cup of coffee, have quiet time. There's lots and lots of little ways to bring this joy into your life. So brainstorm and write them down. This is not an exercise to cause you more stress or pressure. It's just to begin to remember there are things, little things that can give me joy in my life. And then I want you to begin to put one joy activity into your life every day and to be intentional about it. And this, again, this is not an assignment to give you more to do on your list. Think of it more as I am refilling my vessel. Uh, I am repairing that leak in my bucket, and I can begin to feel alive again. I challenge you to do this, and I would love for you to put it in the comments of some joy activities that you can start to bring back into your life. This whole month has been sharing with you about the 5 floors, which again are sleep, food and blood sugar, strength, and your nervous system and stress. And finally, this one, joy, the one that tends not to be named, the one that tends not to be looked at. We set it aside. It goes to the end of the line. If you like what I'm sharing, if it's resonated with you, please share it with another woman. Like, share, subscribe. And I'm going to put in the show notes that I have a community for women where we work on these 5 floors, repairing the leaks so that we can live a more fulfilled life, especially in our midlife years. And this is the Menopause Map podcast. So next week, I'll be back, and I hope you will subscribe to my Substack and join me next week as we continue to look at the things that we can repair, the small leaks, that we can look at the things that are going to fill us up, help stop the leaking, and live this long life that we have ahead of us, this post menopause life of longevity, because women do live longer, and we want these years of longevity to be our best and to feel fully alive. Thank you so much for being here, and I really look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great day.